Hey everyone, hope you guys are enjoying Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak and whichever platform you're choosing to play it on. And today I'm going to go over a little bit of an exciting new surprise that we got, and that came to us as part of this week's latest event quest. Remember that each and every single week we get a couple of event quests seemingly added out of nowhere. And as part of this last title update, Capcom has been kind of upping the ante a little bit and providing us a little bit better rewards, at the very least from my perspective. But if you still don't necessarily know how to get your hands on any sort of event quest or downloadable items, all you need to do is make your way down to Steelworks or in Elgato, speak to the courier cat, go all the way down to the add-ons options, and claim anything that's labeled in white, whether it's event quests or if you're on PlayStation, Xbox, or PC Windows. Plenty of free item packs that have become available in recent days. But essentially what they went ahead and added is a brand new endurance quest called Wild Growth, where you're going to be hunting a Barioth, a Berserioth, and a Diablos in the Sandy Plains. Now, as far as I can remember, I'm not necessarily sure if we have seen this type of combination of monsters in the past, but it is something that shouldn't come to too much of a surprise because they are mud and rock boys, except Diablos, which is, pretty much a normal type monster. Now, as far as the quest is concerned, you shouldn't be coming to expect much of anything. It's not really anything special. Sure, a couple of these monsters probably don't get a lot of love when it comes to event quests. And, Barriers specifically, I don't think we have seen in an event quest in quite a while. Berserioth, it is what it is. Not exciting of a fight. It never has been. Maybe Ruby Berserioth was in previous generations, but this time around, this Berserioth has always been Valstrax and Berserioth have always been kind of just whatever it is. Probably the most interesting fight in general is Diablos, but if you have been anomaly investigation grinding, you know that especially if you're doing anomaly investigation Diablos, you're probably sick and tired of doing him already because there's just so many grind versions of them, especially good quests through anomaly investigations. They should be probably worth doing. So they're going to go down relatively easy is what I'm trying to say. These are just normal mastering monsters, not anomaly by any case of the imagination, and they're going to go down pretty fast, probably within a minute or so each one. Probably Diablos will last a little bit longer, but not much in that regard. Now, the reason why essentially this quest, I call it a surprising quest, is because of the rewards that you're given. So essentially, once you finish the quest and you check out your victory screen or whatever, it says that you've unlocked something new. New gestures in the chat have been provided. Checking the ground, Eureka, and ready. So essentially, when you make your way back into town, one of the things you should be able to check out, it is those brand new 3 gesture rewards. And I have to say, these are probably some of the best non-paid DLC rewards we have seen being added into the game basically since ever, even base Rise. The first one, checking the ground, has your character kind of getting down on the floor, kneeling on the floor, and essentially they begin looking. If we see the palicos, they also begin to take a closer look as to see if they're looking for something. Your character then kind of crosses arms, hand on the chin. They begin to look. They act like they're going to pick up something, but they don't really pick up anything, and then they put it right back down, and then they just continue their search again. It has a relatively long search loop, which I found really interesting, but also very cool. The Eureka one is also pretty cool. You have your character kind of cross their arms, and then eventually do the hand palm kind of like pounds, and then they quickly realize, like, yeah, we kind of nailed it. We kind of got it. The whole Eureka moment. So had to think about it, had to ponder, and then essentially they figured it out. The best one, though, is easily the ready gesture. And this one is probably going to be one of the ones that I add into my arsenal of rotations of gestures that I do pretty much at the end of any sort of random hunt. And it is because it is so cool. It's a lengthy one, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. So you essentially have your character kind of like chug a drink real quick, a potion type of a thing. They essentially just do the Superman kind of pose, which is something that we haven't seen them do pretty much in a long time. Superman pose is something that old school Monster Hunter players pretty much haven't necessarily seen in quite a long time. Even World didn't have it, for that matter. Probably was a normal gesture. Then they randomly put out, a meat or whatever, a cooked meat, and then a well done steak, if you will. They begin to eat that, chow at that real quick, rip away a piece, slap their tummy, get ready to, in a ready pose, and then a yeah type of thing. Is really, really cool. It's a lengthy animation. I enjoy it quite a bit, mostly because of the Superman pose, which again, we haven't necessarily seen that, especially after drinking a potion. It's something that players should be relatively happy with. And at the same time, you have your Palamutes kind of just sitting there howling and being very excited that you are eating up, getting ready for the hunt. Probably it should be something that instead of just sitting there eating bunny dango, your hunter should be probably eating meat and having drinks instead of just eating bunny dango with tea. But of course, that is the moniker, or at the very least the way that they decided to handle Rise and Sunbreak all together before any sort of hunt. So that's pretty much the first quest that we ended up getting this week. In a separate video, I want to discuss the following quest, because there are a couple of interesting things that I did specifically notice for this week's set of event quests. And it does seem to be like we are going to be getting double event quests going forward, at the very least, like I said previously, and something that Capcom confirmed soon after in the latest digital event presentation, where we're essentially going to be getting 2 event quests per week for the foreseeable future until July 27th. So at the time of this video going live, should be around June 22nd or so. We should be expecting pretty much 4 more weeks worth of event quests. After that, that's pretty much the end of the content run. This is why a lot of people are speculating more and more, especially as more presentations begin to take place, that yes, indeed, we will be getting some more mainline Monster Hunter news at the beginning of September, essentially when Tokyo Game Show begins to take place. This is something that we have been speculating pretty much since the beginning of the year, but of course, a lot of players have been a little bit hesitant to welcome that, especially now with more news and more details popping up with Monster Hunter Now. I should be able to have a video on that game probably tomorrow or the day after, talking about some of the new exciting news that we have happening there, because again, Capcom is shifting focus. Sunbreak is no longer a thing for them, and essentially they're shifting focus to Monster Hunter Now, and soon after that, whatever the next mainline game will be. And that is something that a lot of us are very excited to see, but of course that will come most likely at the beginning of next year. They might go ahead and show it now, but they'll certainly release it by sometime next year. So that's pretty much the first quest that I wanted to discuss this week. We'll be talking about the follow-up in the next video. But if you are brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up. And as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.